All right, and
Really?
of course, and now for the latest, let's bring in someone who witnessed the ramifications firsthand, the founder and president of Healthy Tennessee, trauma surgeon Dr. Manny Sethi, and also former Homeland Security advisor, Secret Service Special Agent, and Newsmax contributor Charles Marino. Dr. Sethi, I want to start with you first. You're in Nashville. Your hospital was the hospital that had patients come in. Can you talk to us about just the scene and talk to us about how your community is handling this?
Sure. Well, thank you so much. I'm a trauma surgeon. I was not directly involved with the children, but I am on the adult side. And so, yesterday, as you know, there was a school shooting here in Nashville, a private school. It's really rocked our city because, look, we really never seen anything like this. I was actually the trauma surgeon on call when we had the Antioch church shooting here. And this was just very, very different. Any shooting is tragic, but this is just so tragic when you lose kids. Look, Allison, I have a 9-year-old, I have a 7-year-old. And for about 5 minutes yesterday, I did not know. All I knew was that there was a private school in Nashville near my hospital where there was a shooting. And for about 5 minutes, I thought it very well could be my kids, but, school. But we just didn't know. So very difficult, but we're coming together as a community. I just want to take a second and thank the police for the incredible job they did, for all of our healthcare providers for doing what they did. But we just got to come together and put the politics aside for the moment and just comfort those who have lost kids.
Oh, Dr. Sethi, I can't imagine what went through your mind, as you sat there and wondered if your kids were in that, and the parents all over the place questioning if their child was safe. It's hard to even believe that this continues to happen. Charles, the suspect had drawn maps of the school, locating the entry points. What do you make of the premeditation and the fact that she was able to get into the school? And a lot of times we hear about doors that are open or ways. Obviously, she shot her way through that school. But just to walk us through what you think and what police could be doing right now.
Yeah, in terms of familiarity with the school, Allison, this is not uncommon in these types of situations, whether the shooting is occurring at a school or another location. This is a very personal perceived grievance or actual grievance by these shooters in many cases. And therefore, it's thought about extensively, this grievance, and it's very methodical in terms of what is going to be carried out, which requires preparation. So combined with all of these things together, you have somebody that is going to be very efficient and know which way they're going to have to get into the school. And in this case, we saw it was brute force by shooting through the doors of the school, which shows that as long as our schools are being viewed as high-value targets by these potential shooters, they need to be protected as such. And the only way that person was going to be stopped yesterday from breaching the doors was if there was a school resource officer there with a firearm to stop her.
Yeah, you're so right. It's just on social media yesterday, just parents and Facebook groups talking about the need to have a resource officer at every school. Dr. Sethi, police say the suspect had attended the school and had sent messages as well. We're hearing news about how, this person said that they want to die. Obviously, it looks like there's some concerns of mental health there. We hear these shootings, and a lot of times these suspects have had or have mental health issues. What do we do about this? And you as a doctor, are you seeing more people have mental health issues?
Absolutely. Look, in the next 24 hours, and you heard, President Biden within 30 seconds, instead of comforting the family, start talking about guns. Look, it's not the guns, it's the phones. These kids are facing, and we all are facing this mental health epidemic like we've never seen. As a physician, I'm seeing it with so many patients. And I think it's the isolation from COVID together with social media. I've just not seen anything like this. And I'm very concerned. And I think, this shooting is really telling about where we're at as a society when a private Christian school you can have something like this happen. So it is very deeply concerning.
Charles, I want to go back to what you talked about was those resource officers. So one aspect is mental health and the need for education. As Dr. Sethi said, the phones. We've talked about this before, and as well as social media. But those resource officers, you go into airports, you have to go through security. You go into federal buildings, there are police officers there. Why, with all the funding that these schools get, why is there not a need or a call to have a resource officer in every school? Not just, I see them a lot in the high schools, but these grammar schools.
No, look, the county I live in, we have school resource officers in every single school. And the reason why that was able to happen was because the local sheriff made it a priority. If we look at all the money that's wasted around this country when it comes to schools and all this COVID relief money that went unspent or was spent inefficiently, this is one of the areas where that money could have been used to harden up schools. And, there's no reason it can never happen here mentality needs to go out the window, because we see it's becoming much more frequent, unfortunately. And I can tell you that local police departments are more than willing to allocate personnel or create new positions for this functionality if the school district will share the costs.
Yeah, it's so important. Charles Marino, thank you so much. Dr. Sethi, I know that your community is very faith-based. I know everybody's praying. We certainly are here too. So we're thinking of you and everybody in Nashville. Appreciate you coming on this morning with us.
Thank you.
Of course. And